tenancy is a legally binding contract between you and St George's Community Housing, who manage all aspects of your tenancy. The tenancy contract sets out all the terms and conditions of your tenancy, and when you sign it, you're agreeing to abide by these terms. By committing any acts of antisocial behaviour, you could be in breach of the tenancy terms. St George's Community Housing strongly believes it's everyone's responsibility to ensure that they're considerate to their neighbours and the rest of the community. It's crucial that customers respect each other's property and boundaries and don't engage in any activities that will have a negative impact on those around them. Earlier, I spoke to Leslie O'Shea, Antisocial Behaviour Manager, about your tenancy contract and also the consequences of ASB and how it could affect your tenancy.
The majority of tenants that we house are given a secure tenancy, and basically that means that they've got certain rights in law. The main ones that spring to mind are sort of the right to buy, the right to exchange, and the right to do improvements to their property. On some occasions we would offer a non-secure tenancy rather than a secure one, and those occasions would be perhaps when somebody has been housed as a homeless person. Initially they would be given a temporary tenancy or a non-secure tenancy. We expect you to pay your rent on time. We expect you to keep your home in a clean and tidy condition. We expect you not to upset your neighbours and not to get involved in antisocial behaviour of any kind. We expect you to reside in that property, to use it as your main and sole resident, and not to sublet it or have lodgers in without getting our permission first. We've got an obligation to keep your home wind and watertight, to do certain repairs to your property, and they're sort of defined within your tenant's handbook as to what we will and won't do. We have to give you notice before we enter your home, so if we're carrying out any repairs we would give you notice of when we were going to do those. If we're carrying out gas servicing and that sort of thing, it would always be with notice, so you'd know when we were coming, but you need to allow us access to do that. We have a really broad definition of antisocial behaviour, from noise, from drug dealing, difficulty with animals, it could be dog fouling or it could be dogs barking, that sort of thing, so there's a really broad spectrum. The most common complaints that we get are complaints of noise. That's our biggest category in terms of complaint, and so we work really closely with our environmental health team at Basildon Council when we have noise complaints. And there's a number of actions that we can take in terms of noise. We'll either issue sort of early warnings, either verbal warnings or written warnings. If it's more serious and it's a statutory nuisance, then environmental health will serve a noise abatement notice. And if that's breached, if the terms of that order are ignored, they will come in and actually take away the equipment. We deal with all hate crime and domestic abuse or domestic violence within the team here. It will not be tolerated in the district. We're very firm with that. We've got a team of 5 community wardens, and they work across the district in sort of geographical patches, and the reason we've done that is so that they can build up a relationship with the community within those areas. They like to get to know sort of what's going on in the communities and help wherever they can. They will report environmental issues. They are there really to deter incidents of antisocial behaviour, and they can be contacted, via the office here. We can get a message to them and they can contact direct. And they're quite happy to sort of, go into people's homes and talk to them if they prefer that, or they will see them at another venue if that's preferable. And they do surgeries across the district as well, drop-in surgeries, so people can just drop in and talk to them about any concerns they may have. If you breach your tenancy agreement, then we will serve initially, depends on the severity of what's happened, but we will either issue a warning or we will serve a notice of seeking possession, which is really the first stage of legal action. It's a last resort for us. We don't like to use that. We like to use the early intervention, really, but we will use that if absolutely necessary.
Your tenancy agreement contains a lot of information, and it's crucial that you understand everything that it covers. St George's Community Housing is dedicated to ensuring that living in your home and community is as hassle-free and safe as possible. If you ever feel that you're the victim of ASB, it's essential you report the problem as soon as possible. All matters are taken seriously and are dealt with in the strictest of confidence. If you need further information on this matter or anything discussed in this section, then please refer to your tenancy handbook.